Social Zoom Factor, episode 240.
Driving results in business these days takes something special. It's a combination of the right info and the right energy. Pam Moore has both and is here to help you avoid the pitfalls and guide your business and life by leveraging and integrating social media, powerful branding, and digital marketing. Welcome to Social Zoom Factor. Now it's time to live life zoomed.
Are you a small business owner, entrepreneur, or work on a corporate team and tired of wasting money on social media training courses that are nothing more than random videos thrown up on a wall like webinar spaghetti? Finally, there's a solution to get you on the fast track to social media business success and help you learn how to generate brand awareness, leads, and sales without breaking the bank. Visit socialprofitfactor.com and use coupon code ZOOM. Again, that's socialprofitfactor.com. Coupon code ZOOM. Are you ready to make your dream of owning and launching a business a reality? Our partner HostGator has everything you need to make that dream come to life online. Zoom your business turbo by visiting socialzoomfactor.com/Zoom and save 50% on your hosting package. Again, that's socialzoomfactor.com/Zoom and save 50% now. Hey there, Zoomers, and welcome to the Social Zoom Factor podcast. This is your host, Pam Moore. All right, today, what we are going to be talking about is something that is very important to organizations of all sizes. And I am going to give you 10 strategies and tips for how you can best partner with a third-party social media, digital marketing, or branding agency for maximum success. How can you get the highest ROI possible out of every dollar that you invest? I am going to tell you 10 strategies and tips that will absolutely help you. Now, before we get started, I want to remind you of where we come from, why you should listen to me today. I have over 20 years of experience in business. I spent 15 years working in corporate marketing, working in corporate business, as did my partner, Josh Moore, and co-founder. He spent 15 years in business as well. He primarily worked on the business development and sales side. He was a data junkie, worked at some very large companies in data mining and analytics, and worked on some of the first implementations with brands like Coke, implementing Facebook Insights when those were first launched, worked at Google, and the list goes on. I worked in a corporate marketing and product development perspective, led branding, led, business units that we grew exponentially in very short time periods with very limited budgets to start, and was always able to grow and earn those growing budgets by being able to set goals, to measure results, and to achieve an ROI, right? I used a ton of third-party resources when I was back in my corporate world because I couldn't always afford and get it done like I needed to get it done in time frames by utilizing only one agency, one consultant. And so I'm coming to you not only with experience from the business perspective, but also as an agency. So we run and own the Marketing Nuts, which we serve everybody from solo entrepreneurs, well-funded startups, all the way up to Fortune 10 brands. So we have worked with hundreds of organizations of all sizes. And, we know how to help you be successful and achieve that maximum ROI. So let's go ahead and dig right in. So the first thing that you need to do is to make sure that you know your goals and that you are prepared for the agency. And this means understanding, what does success look like to you? What are you wanting to achieve? Do you know even why you want to do social media? Like, how do you think it's going to help your business? Or do you just know you need to do it and you're not sure why or what it's going to help you? Now, the key thing is that you know your business goals. Okay. You need to know your audience. You need to know who your target customers are. You need to understand what it is you're wanting to accomplish and make sure that you do your best to be as prepared as you possibly can for bringing on that social media or digital marketing branding agency as a partner for you. Okay. You're going to want to organize things like your business plan, if you have that, your marketing plan, your social media plan. What have you done to date? Do you have any metrics? Even if you don't have any, know that you don't have any, right? If you do have metrics, if there's tools that you've been using to measure success, I want you to start gathering those. Start gathering the tools, gathering the data. Consider setting up a Dropbox or a Box.net account where you and your team are putting all of that information and your planning documents and your plans and your business information, your branding guidelines, your content you're using, any influencer marketing that you've done, who are the influencers you've worked with, and the list goes on. Anything you can do to help onboard that agency so that they can learn about your business as quickly as possible. You also want to make sure you're clear on your team and your organizational charts. You want to make sure that you have a list of all of the social networks that you currently have set up, as well as the logons for those. Okay. So, because if you can do this work ahead of time before you bring them on, then the agency isn't going to have to waste time asking you and, having emails go back and forth, asking you for that most basic information. It's kind of like you have to take some responsibility with that. So know your goals and be prepared for your agency. And I have a podcast that I did in the past that has 10 questions you must answer before hiring a social media agency. So I will make sure that I link to that as well as some other resources in the show notes page for this episode. And you'll be able to find that at socialzoomfactor.com/240 because this is episode 240. Tip number 2 is to make sure that you hire the right agency. Okay. I want you to do your research and do not just do a Google search and only hire the first agency that pops to the top of the page. I want you to take your time. I want you to ask the hard questions. Okay. Make sure that you are doing the double click on the organization and their team, and make sure that the agency and the leaders, the founders if it's a smaller agency, even a large agency, make sure that they're walking the walk, not just talking the talk. Okay. So if they tell you that they know how to help you grow a following, they better have a following out there on at least one or two of the top social networks. If they tell you they're great at building community, you want to make sure that they're either able to give you a handful of customer references or that they're also going to be able to show you how they've done it for themselves. Because the key factor for you to look at is if their social profiles are dead and nobody is engaging with them, and you can't find even one social network where they're rocking it, be it LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, if they're not rocking it on one of those, I really would be careful. So you want to make sure you're asking those hard things, and then take your time, right? So take your time. This doesn't mean that you need to expect the agency to give you a free strategy while you're deciding if you want to work with them, because you would be amazed at how many companies try to get that free strategy in the proposal phase, right? And so I know our agency, we're very, we value our time. So we'll usually give, 1 15-minute consultation. Sometimes it'll take longer. And then we'll give you a proposal. And then, basically either you want to do business with us from there or you decide to go elsewhere. We're not going to spend a ton of time on the phone talking about your specific strategies because that takes time. And that's obviously what you're hiring us for. So take your time, do the research, Ask for references if you need to, but do understand that many of the agencies are also under NDA. So a lot of times they can't share with you exactly what they've done with many of their clients. And I know for us, particularly in the Fortune 50 brand space, I mean, we have strict NDAs where we have a few clients that I can't even, other than putting their logo on my website, we barely got that approved. I cannot even tweet that we work with them. Okay. Businesses want to keep that confidential. They don't always want people to know who they hired to do what. I mean, that's a competitive differentiator of who they hired. They don't want all their competition going and doing the same. They may not even want competition or clients to know that they've had to outsource some of those things. So there's some privacy related issues. So just because a potential agency can't give you 25 recommendations and case studies doesn't mean that they don't have them. And that's why you have to look at that as just one of the data points. But the point here is that you want to make sure that you hire the right agency, an agency that is going to have a proper mindset fit with you, cultural fit with you, and be able, most importantly, to help you achieve your goals. Okay, it's got to be the right agency. Now, tip number 3 is once you hire that agency, I want you to commit, okay? Don't second guess your decision and don't get cold feet right after you sign the contract. So right after you make the payment and, the wheels are in motion and then you start to second guess the decision, should we be doing social? This is a waste of time. It becomes very frustrating for you, your team that works for you, as well as your agency, and you're just going to lose time. So once you make the decision, once you decide your goals, once you hire the right agency, you need to commit, okay? You've made this decision, you've signed the contract, you've invested in the payments, you need to commit. That is how you are going to succeed. I cannot stress that enough. Tip number 4 is to trust your agency, okay? They are your partner and you need to make sure that you are their partner too. So a good agency is going to see you as more than a payment to them. They want to be your partner in business. They want to oftentimes be your friend. And one thing we always say in our agency and to every client we meet with before they even become a client is we believe in mutual joy and mutual value. We have a very easy entry to work with us and also an easy exit. I do not ever want a brand or a leader inside of a business feel that they are forced to continue to work with us because of a contract. Now, sometimes there are terms within contracts that you can't cancel before a specific time, but we're not going to lock you into those things for life, right? We are here as your partner, as your friend, and we are very careful of the clients that we bring on. We want to make sure that we believe in your products and that it fits with who we are and the morals that we have as people and as a company. So when you hire that right agency, they are going to invest as if it was almost their business, right? They want your business to succeed. And that's not just because they're getting a paycheck or a credit card payment every month, but it's because they are there and hired to help you succeed. And what I see is many times business marketing leaders, they will start out not knowing hardly anything about social media or digital or branding, whatever they're hiring the agency for. And then as soon as they hire that third party, then they start to question everything that third party is doing. So they continue to second guess everything, and that only hinders, number one, the relationship that you have with the agency. And the relationship is everything. There's got to be trust there. And they need your commitment. They need your trust. They need your buy-in so that they can deliver the best possible results for you. And again, this assumes that you hired the right agency to begin with. And that's why you have to make sure up front that you hire that right agency. You need to take time for that decision. Next, tip number 5 is I want you to be patient and I want you to follow the agency's onboarding process without complaining, okay? And remember that your goal is not to just do social media, but your goal is to integrate social media into your business. Now, what do I mean by this? This means that it's easy for us to go jump on Facebook, to go jump on Twitter, to go jump on LinkedIn, Instagram, and start posting a bunch of beautiful images and quotes and whatever it may be in your business videos. But it's a lot more time consuming and it takes longer to see an ROI when I am integrating those activities in a way that's going to help me achieve my business goals. If I really want to increase brand awareness with what market? With what end user? What potential target customer? If I'm wanting to generate more leads, who are those leads? What does that sales funnel look like? How are we going to measure success? If I want to generate more sales, again, who is that target customer? What is the call to action that's going to bring them in? What are the metrics? Where are we nurturing that lead? Are we using email? Are we using Facebook Messenger? And the list goes on. So you want to make sure you're following the onboarding process because the inputs that they're asking you for, they need. And there is a reason that they want you to learn their project management system. If we use Teamwork PM, for example. And so we put everything inside of Teamwork PM and we use Dropbox and some other tools. And that's how we organize every project. And when we kick off with a new client, we have a process for onboarding them. And the most successful companies who have worked with us are those ones that dive right in and, just give us the information that we need and don't fight the process. So be patient and follow that onboarding process. Now, I still have 5 more strategies and tips I'm going to share with you, but we need to take a quick break and hear a few words from our sponsors because they are what keeps this podcast zooming. So please give them a detailed listen and I'll be right back. Overwhelmed with constant changing social networks and technology, unsure where to focus and how to build your personal or business brand, tired of wasting money on Facebook ads and social media training that overpromises and underdelivers? Introducing Social Profit Factor, our social media online training academy and community, a proven system with a step-by-step blueprint to help you set goals, increase brand awareness, leads, and sales. From Social Media 101 to advanced strategies and tactics for all of the top social networks, including Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, live video, and more. Zoom past your competition with influencer marketing and an audience-first marketing approach. Sign up today and develop your plan within 30 to 60 days. A plan that prioritizes the strategies and tactics for the highest ROI for your business. It's time you learn from the experts who walk the walk, not just talk the talk. Visit socialprofitfactor.com, coupon code Zoom. Again, socialprofitfactor.com, coupon code Zoom. Do you have a big dream to launch your business online, but stuck with how to get started? The social and digital web today can be overwhelming, even to the most seasoned business and marketing leaders. Well, regardless of your experience, have no fear. Our partner HostGator can help you not only secure your business domain, help you set up hosting, but they can also help you get started with your first website, e-commerce site, blog, SEO services, and more. Their cloud and other services scale with you as your business grows. From shared VPS to dedicated servers, we host all of our sites on HostGator, and I love that their support is available 24/7, 365 days of the year via chat, phone, and email. Get started today and save 50% by visiting socialzoomfactor.com/Zoom. Again, that is socialzoomfactor.com/Zoom for an immediate 50% savings now. I'm back. Okay, let's dig right in. We are ready now for tip number 6. And as a recap, so far we talked about number 1, know your goals and be prepared for the agency. Number 2 was hire the right agency to begin with. Number 3 is commit and do not second guess your decision after you've already hired the agency. Number 4 was trust your agency and make sure you are committing to being their partner. And number 5 was be patient and make sure you follow the onboarding process. Okay, so number 6 is I want you to also be very clear on the contract, the statement of work, as well as the goals and the milestones of the project as it gets kicked off. So when you're first starting, you want to make sure you are clear on what that contract includes and what it doesn't include. I also want you to be clear on what the core goals are, what the milestones are of the project, so that you can invest in them as a top priority. I want you to make sure you are supporting those milestones, those goals, as a top priority. Because when your team sees that you're committed to the dates that are set forward, you are all going to achieve much greater success, okay? So review the contract terms, review the project deliverables. When your agency sends you a milestone sheet, hopefully they do that, close to kickoff, make sure you review those milestones. And if something looks out of whack, bring it up right away. Don't wait until you are halfway through phase 1 of the project to say this should have been done a month ago, or this needs to be done faster. You need to become very familiar with what that project entails, what the timelines are, what's needed from you. And every time you receive another piece of information from your agency with details such as those, ask the questions. If you need to hop on a call, ask the questions, right? And as an agency, we do never believe in just making our clients get on the call to have a call. We only get on the call when we need to have something to talk about, because we believe time is your most valuable asset as it is ours. But I'll tell you, if a client has a question on something we're doing and they really need to talk about it, we will always jump on that phone. I mean, I'll pick up my cell phone and say, okay, let's figure this out. As you are learning how the project is working, ask those questions. They are there to help answer those. And you are going to maximize your investment if you take the project seriously and show your team that you mean business and you want results for this project. And particularly if you have a team working for you, if you are the stakeholder that has signed off on this project, your team needs to see that you've made an investment and you are committed. Now, if you are a social media leader and your management has signed off on the process, you better come through and make sure you're delivering what you need to be delivering. And I'll also be doing another podcast soon that's really focused on how to help that social media manager or digital marketing manager manage that agency relationship when it's kind of been handed to them from a superior within the business. I'll cover that too on a podcast coming up soon. But do everything within your power to not be a bottleneck, as it's only going to slow down the process. And the more that you can be clear and understand where you are going and why, in partnership with your new agency partner, the less time the agency is going to have to spend going back and forth, and the more time they're going to be able to spend on higher value added tactics, okay, and strategies that are going to help you. And again, this comes back to trust and not second guessing everything the agency is doing and why. Number 7 is be prepared to share. Do not hold back information. And this is so very important. Your agency is your partner and friend. That's why I keep telling you this. There's got to be trust, and trust and partnership equals success. So I always tell our clients, I want you to be able to tell me anything, right? What happens in this room, what happens in this project stays within our 2 organizations, right? With only need to know team members. So every organization has problems. Every organization has, some crazy skeletons they've maybe thrown in the closet that they don't want to open up that closet door ever, but you need to. If you have things that are a problem, maybe you have databases that are not working. You have an email marketing system that you have spammed and you've been blacklisted in the past. Maybe you have team members who are not bought into what you're doing. They could be executives. They could be supporting the team members. Maybe you have skills of team members who that are nowhere close to where they need to be. I mean, the good and the bad and the ugly, you need to be prepared to share it. We never want a client having to dot every I and cross every T and clean up every strategy document before they send it to us. Okay, we always say we are great at filtering through information. It's kind of like just dump on us. Tell us what you have, and our team is able to filter through that and pick out what we need, okay? We're not trying to just be the CIA and just get in to know all your business and dirty stuff. We're trying to find the risks. We're trying to find success opportunities and areas that we can just help you succeed. So be prepared to share. Number 8, and this is important too, is determine the primary contact person as well as supporting roles and choose them wisely, okay? So let's talk about this. Initially, you may think that it's easier. Let's say you've hired an agency, you're an executive, stakeholder, or an owner in a business, and you have hired an agency, you've chosen that agency, and now you want to just kind of throw it over the fence to a supporting superstar. So that may be a social media manager, a digital marketer, web developer, who knows. Now, I'm going to tell you from the beginning, don't do that initially. You need to stay involved. And there's a lot of reasons why. Because social is not a Band-Aid for a broken business. And it should be looked at as an integrated component of your business, of your marketing, of your sales, and even your HR. Okay, so it is an integrated component of your business. We can't just go do Facebook marketing. We can't just go do Twitter marketing without understanding who your audience is, without understanding what your brand strategy is, what your messaging is. We need that content strategy and plan for us to be able to deliver that consistent message across all the different social networks. So you need to make sure that the primary contact person knows as much about the business as possible. There needs to be somebody that understands your business. Now, if they need to bring in other roles, that's fine. But make sure that you don't have somebody that is at a more junior level who doesn't understand your business, who doesn't understand your customer, who doesn't understand marketing, and doesn't understand social media. Don't throw them to the wolves and have them be implementing your social media plan just because they know how to work Facebook or they know how to send a tweet. Okay, you need to have leaders of specific areas if you don't have just that one person. And that is going to include digital, branding, content, social, HR, sales, whatever it may be. Now, if you're saying, okay, that's me, or that's me and my partner, that's fine. But I want to make sure that if you are in an organization where you have multiple people, multiple teams, whatever it may be, multiple business units, that you are putting some clear thought into who is that primary point of contact. And, a lot of times with organizations, big and small, we will help them in establishing who is that business executive stakeholder, who is that director of this social media program they're getting ready to implement, and then who are those supporting lead roles, and we'll help them, put that infrastructure together. And this is even with inside small organizations. You need to figure this out. Make sure there is somebody at the top level for business that can speak with the agency for some of the tough conversations, because that's the one thing you need to. I talked earlier about the skeletons in the closet. You're going to need to get real. Your agency may tell you your kid is ugly. Okay, they may say you got an ugly website. They may say you need some serious work on your brand strategy. What you've been doing in the offline world the last 25 years may not work so perfectly when you start to enter in a big way to the social and digital world of today. So you need people who are not personally attached to a website, to a brand strategy, to a conversion funnel, a sales funnel, to a piece of creative, and who are able to drive change and implement the recommendations that the agency is recommending. Okay. Remember, you hired them because you trust them. Oftentimes people are hiring an agency to do this type of work because they need change. They're ready to take their business to the next level. So you need to make sure that you have people that are working with the agency that isn't personally attached to everything you did 20 years ago. You're going to have to let some things go and move forward to this century. Okay. And I'll tell you, this happens with organizations of all sizes. I'm not just saying you're stuck back in time. This happens with, small business all the way up to Fortune 15 brands we work with, where they have the same struggles. So hopefully that makes you feel a little better. Tip number 9 is to work on your own process and infrastructure too. So just as the agency is working on understanding your business, building out your marketing plan, all the cool stuff, helping you build that plan of attack to make sure you are able to continue to improve your own processes, how you work together, how you create content, how you work with third parties, etc. You need to make sure you are working on your own infrastructure. If you know that you have challenges related to team, if you know that you have issues where handoff in design development, brand development, content development, maybe you have too many chefs in a couple of your kitchens where everybody wants to give input, but nobody really wants to own the baton to make the project happen, you're going to need to figure that out. If you don't have somebody that knows how to do integrated marketing and can be that person that oversees everything you're doing with social, digital, and branding and content, you're going to need to figure out who that is, or who are you going to outsource, that role to, somebody that maybe partners with you as an owner of a company. I don't know your infrastructure, so I can't tell you what that looks like, but I'll tell you that it's different for every company. It doesn't just depend on size; it depends on skill set and a lot of other things. What's the history of your company? What do your current assets look like? And that's why a lot of times when we work with companies, we will not even engage with them on a project until we have completed an audit, a strategy, and a plan for their program. We can't just come in and do Facebook for you most of the time. We need to understand, what does that whole platform look like? Because we cannot approach social media anymore. We've never been able to as a silo. Okay. So you want to make sure that you are looking at your own process and infrastructure too. And a lot of times when you first start working with an agency, it will seem like at first you're like, what are they doing? Like, you give them all this input, you provided all of your business strategies and plans, you are providing them metrics, and you'll feel like, I am doing all the work here. I'm like gathering up all this data. Yes, you are, because they need to learn about your business, okay? They need to know about your infrastructure. They need to know where you've been, what's worked, what hasn't worked. And then what a good agency will do is then they will take that data and then they will help develop a plan based on where you were, where you are, and where you want to go. And that's why it really needs to be based on those goals and objectives of where you want to go. And so during that time where you're thinking, what are they doing? A good agency is building out that strategy and plan. They're finishing off that research. They're helping you find your influencers if that's part of the engagement. They're researching some of your competitors, pretty quickly for you and figure out what you're going to be your unique differentiator. So during that time where you feel like things should be going faster, like you're twiddling your thumbs, that's where I really encourage you to work on your own process and your own infrastructure too. And that you're always thinking, how can I also be the best partner for my agency as possible? How can I make sure that I am as organized as I possibly can in owning my business, right? You need to own your business, own your goals, so the agency can help you the best that they can. Last but not least, we have number 10, and this is acknowledging the ROI is going to take time. So just make sure that you are patient, and remember that social media and digital marketing success is much more than pretty pictures, than videos and Facebook likes. It is going to take time. Communities create markets, okay? But ROI comes as you are establishing relationships. And I always, when I teach courses, and I always talk about that horizontal sideways funnel that I have. And when you embark on social media, you have an opportunity to build community, to build relationships. But how you provide value on the social web today, how you nurture relationships or not, is going to determine that ROI. And it could take up to 6 to 12 plus months for you to see a really strong financial ROI from your investment in social, depending on where your platform is. If your website was developed, 10 years ago, and it really isn't functioning today, it's difficult to integrate social media. You don't really know who your audiences are, your buyer personas are. You don't know what the right messaging is for each of those audience members. You don't have Facebook really set up and rocking. Instagram, you don't have visual templates. Are you getting the hint? And the list goes on. It's going to take time for you to get some of that infrastructure set up and get those goals established, those conversion funnels and everything in between so that you can achieve that ROI. Now, it will come if you work with a solid, experienced agency that knows how to do these things. They have the processes, they have the methodologies, they have the repeatable best practices that they're going to be able to help you. But nothing comes, the whole entire program isn't going to come to you as a cookie cutter. There are some things they'll be able to leverage, but they should be looking at your business, your market, your industry, your niche uniquely and making sure that they are helping you achieve your goals with your budget, your team, and based on your timing, okay, and what you have to invest. So there you have it in a nutshell. 10 ways that you can partner with your social media, digital marketing, and branding agency for greatest success. Now, let me recap these for you because they are very important. Number 1, know your goals and be prepared for them. Number 2, make sure you hire the right agency to begin with. Number 3, commit. Do not second guess your decision. Number 4, trust your agency. Be their partner, be their friend. You're in this together. Number 5, be patient and follow their onboarding process. Number 6, be very clear on the statement of work, the contract, the goals, the milestone, as well as the details of the project, and support all of those timelines and needs as a top priority so that your team will do the same thing. Number 7, be prepared to share and do not hold back information. Take those skeletons out of the closet, put them on the table, and stomp them. Number 8 is determine the primary contact person as well as supporting roles wisely. And this includes stakeholders, leaders of specific areas, etc. Number 9, work on your own process and infrastructure as well. Make your business as agile as it can be to support this next chapter of social and digital integration. And then number 10 is that acknowledging that ROI is going to take time, right? You need to be patient and you need to enjoy the journey, right? You really need to embrace and enjoy the journey. So I hope this episode was very useful for you. I hope that you're able to, really take to heart some of these strategies and tactics. And if you've been struggling at all with the partnership with your agency, that now you're able to maybe think about this in a little bit different way. And it's not, what has my agency done for me lately, but it's instead thinking, what have we done together, and making sure that we have common goals and objectives. And, if you would like some additional help and you really want to, as we come to the new year, take your business to the next level, this is what we do for our day job, right? We help organizations implement social and digital and branding technologies and best practices, influencer marketing, to help them build out and grow their business utilizing everything the digital and social web has to offer today. So I encourage you to check us out at themarketingnutswithaz.com, and we can help you. We would love to help you really take your business to the next level. We don't lock you into any contracts. We can just, come in and help you put a plan together, help empower your team, and then help you with, some limited execution where you may need help. We also, as mentioned, have our Social Profit Factor Training Academy, where we can empower you and your team. It gives you everything you need to be successful with social and digital marketing, including strategic planning and then execution on all of the top social networks. And you can check that out at socialprofitfactor.com. Use the coupon code Zoom to always save an undisclosed amount. You'll have to go there and check it out. So that's a wrap. I'll have the show notes at the show notes page at socialzoomfactor.com/240. And I will link to other resources available for you. That's a wrap.
If you're ready to Zoom your business and Zoom your life, then don't let the end of this episode be the end of your journey. Visit socialzoomfactor.com/Zoom for incredible free resources and guides. And be sure to join the Social Zoom Factor mailing list so you never miss an episode. We'll see you next time on Social Zoom Factor.